Here's something the electric bike industry has known for years but would rather not advertise. The fastest growing group of e-bike buyers in the world right now is people over 60, not teenagers, not tech bros in Patagonia vests, people over 60. And yet if you walk into almost any e-bike showroom or scroll through almost any brand's website, every single model is being ridden by someone who looks like they just finished a triathlon at 28. So today we are pulling back the curtain completely. Why the e-bike industry is basically ignoring you. A number that should genuinely make you angry. According to multiple consumer research reports, riders over 50 account for somewhere between 40 and 50% of all e-bike purchases in markets like the United States and Western Europe. 40 to 50%. That is not a niche. That is literally half the market. And yet the industry spends the overwhelming majority of its marketing budget chasing riders half that age. Why does this matter to you? Because when an industry ignores its actual customer, the actual customer ends up making worse decisions. You walk into a shop and the salesperson, who is 24 years old and genuinely enthusiastic, bless his heart, starts talking to you about torque sensors and carbon fiber forks and 0 to 30 acceleration like you are training for the Tour de France. And you smile and nod and walk out having either bought completely the wrong bike or nothing at all. This has been going on since roughly 2015 when e-bikes started getting genuinely good and genuinely affordable. The brands that figured out the over 60 market early, companies like Gazelle out of the Netherlands, Trek with certain models and a handful of European manufacturers, have been quietly cleaning up while everyone else chases the youth demographic with flashy specs that most everyday riders will never actually use. Here's the honest reality. If you are over 60 and thinking about an e-bike, you are not a secondary customer. You are the primary customer. You are exactly who this technology was built for. The assisted pedaling, the reduced physical strain, the ability to ride further than your body would otherwise allow. None of that was invented for the 28-year-old triathlete. He doesn't need it. You are the person this technology genuinely serves. The problem is nobody in the industry is bothering to explain it to you properly. So that's what we're going to do today. And we're going to do it without talking down to you, without assuming you don't understand technology, and without pretending that age is something to be embarrassed about, because it isn't. The motor question, and why everyone gets this wrong. All right, motors. This is where most e-bike conversations immediately go off the rails because the specs sound impressive and the marketing language is deliberately confusing and everyone ends up fixating on the wrong thing entirely. There are two main motor types you need to understand: hub drive motors and mid-drive motors. A hub drive motor sits inside the wheel, usually the rear wheel, and pushes the bike forward directly. A mid-drive motor sits in the middle of the bike at the pedal area and works through the bike's gears to drive the chain. That's it. That's the whole difference mechanically. But the practical difference for a rider over 60 is significant. Hub drive motors are simpler, cheaper, and require almost no maintenance. They do their job quietly and reliably, and you can largely forget they exist. The downside is they are less efficient on hills because they can't take advantage of your gears the way a mid-drive can. If you live somewhere flat, and I mean genuinely flat, like Kansas flat, like the Netherlands flat, a hub drive motor is perfectly fine and you will save yourself a meaningful amount of money. Mid-drive motors are more sophisticated. They sit low in the frame, which gives the bike better balance. They work with your gears to climb hills much more efficiently, and they tend to give you a more natural riding feel because the power comes through the pedals rather than just pushing the wheel. The downside is they are more expensive, and the extra mechanical complexity means more potential maintenance over time. For most riders over 60, especially if you live anywhere with any kind of incline whatsoever, a mid-drive motor is worth the extra investment. Brands like Bosch, Shimano Steps, and Yamaha make mid-drive systems that are genuinely excellent and have been refined over years of real-world use. Now here's the wattage conversation. Walk into any shop and you'll see bikes listed at 250 watts, 350 watts, 500 watts, 750 watts. Higher must be better, right? Not necessarily. A 250 watt Bosch mid-drive motor will climb a hill more efficiently and with more control than a 500 watt hub motor. Because efficiency and intelligence of power delivery matters far more than raw wattage numbers. Don't be seduced by big watt numbers the same way you shouldn't be seduced by big horsepower numbers in a car you're going to drive to the grocery store. What you actually want is a motor with a good torque sensor, as opposed to a basic cadence sensor. Because a torque sensor responds to how hard you're actually pedaling and delivers assist proportionally. It feels natural. It feels like the bike is helping you rather than taking over from you. Cadence sensors just detect whether your feet are moving and blast power accordingly, which can feel jerky and unpredictable. For older riders especially, that natural responsive feel makes a genuine difference to both comfort and confidence. The battery truth nobody puts in the brochure. If motors are where the confusion starts, batteries are where the disappointment happens, and it happens constantly. Someone buys an e-bike rated for 60 miles of range, takes it out for the first time, and gets 35 miles before the battery starts protesting. And they feel cheated. They feel like they were lied to. And honestly, they kind of were. Not maliciously, necessarily, but the range figures the industry publishes are about as reliable as a weather forecast made by someone who's never been outside. Here's the truth about e-bike range. The figure on the brochure is almost always achieved under optimal laboratory conditions. That means flat ground, mild temperature, light rider, low assist level, and probably a tailwind, and the manufacturer's own wishful thinking. In the real world, with hills, with wind, with a heavier rider, with the assist turned up to a level that is actually useful, you are looking at roughly 50 to 60% of the advertised range in typical conditions. Sometimes less. This isn't unique to cheap bikes either. Premium bikes do it too. It is an industry-wide habit that nobody has been regulated out of yet, though some markets are starting to push for more honest standardized testing. And so what does this mean practically? I think if you want a reliable real-world range of 40 miles, which for most leisure and utility riders over 60 is genuinely plenty, you want to be looking at a bike rated for 70 to 80 miles on paper. That buffer is not paranoia, that is just math. Battery capacity is measured in watt-hours, abbreviated as watt-hours. A 400 watt-hour battery is entry-level. A 500 watt-hour battery is solid. A 600 to 700 watt-hour battery gives you serious range and peace of mind. Some premium bikes now offer 500 watt-hour batteries with a range extender option, meaning you can add a second smaller battery for genuinely long rides. That kind of flexibility is worth knowing about. Now here's the thing nobody tells you about battery longevity. How you charge your battery matters almost as much as which battery you buy. Lithium-ion batteries, which is what every decent e-bike uses, degrade faster when you regularly charge them to 100% and let them drain completely to zero. The sweet spot for battery health is keeping the charge between 20 and 80% for everyday use. Only charge to 100% when you actually need the full range. This one habit alone can meaningfully extend your battery's lifespan. Speaking of lifespan, most e-bike batteries are rated for somewhere between 500 and 1,000 full charge cycles before they start losing meaningful capacity. At the kind of usage most riders over 60 will actually do, that translates to roughly 3 to 7 years before you are looking at a battery replacement. And battery replacements are not cheap. Budget anywhere from $300 to $800 depending on the brand and capacity. This is a real cost of ownership that almost nobody mentions when you're standing in the shop looking at the sticker price. Your body has a vote too. This is the chapter that the 24-year-old salesperson is the least equipped to help you with, and it might actually be the most important one. E-bike geometry, meaning the shape and proportions of the frame and how you sit on the bike, varies enormously. And for riders over 60, getting the geometry right is not a preference, it is a necessity. Because riding an e-bike that doesn't fit your body properly for any meaningful length of time is not just uncomfortable. It can aggravate existing joint issues, cause new ones, and ultimately mean the bike sits in your garage after 3 rides, collecting dust next to the rowing machine from 2009. We've all been there. The most important decision you will make, wiring step-through versus traditional diamond frame. A traditional diamond frame has that triangular top tube running from the handlebars down to the seat, and getting on and off the bike requires swinging your leg over it. For many riders over 60 with any hip or knee limitations, This is genuinely problematic and in some cases genuinely dangerous. A step-through frame eliminates that top tube entirely. You simply step through the open space and sit down. It sounds like a small thing. It is not a small thing. Getting on and off your bike confidently and safely every single time without having to perform an athletic maneuver matters enormously. There's absolutely a lingering cultural bias, especially among male riders of a certain generation, that step-through frames are somehow not serious bikes. Let me be direct about this. That is nonsense. Step-through e-bikes are ridden by serious cyclists all over Europe, have been for decades, and the geometry has no effect whatsoever on the bike's performance. Get over it, literally. Handlebar height and reach is the next conversation. You want handlebars that allow you to sit upright or close to upright without straining your lower back or putting excessive weight through your wrists. The aggressive forward lean of a road bike is wonderful if you are training competitively. For leisure and utility riding, it is a recipe for back pain and shortened rides. Look for bikes with swept back handlebars and enough height adjustment to let you find a comfortable neutral position. Saddle comfort is its own entire topic. The stock saddle that comes with most e-bikes is adequate at best. For longer rides, especially for riders who haven't been on a bike in a few years, a wider, more cushioned saddle makes a meaningful difference. And yes, padded cycling shorts are a real thing. And yes, they actually work. And no, you don't have to tell anyone you're wearing them. The safety stuff that actually matters after 60. Let's be honest with each other here. The conversation about safety and aging is one that a lot of videos in this space dance around because nobody wants to sound patronizing, but dancing around it doesn't serve you, so here it is straight. As we age, reaction time slows. Balance can become less reliable. Bone density changes in ways that make falls more consequential than they were at 35. None of this means you shouldn't ride. It means you should ride smarter and choose equipment that accounts for these realities rather than pretending they don't exist. Brakes first. Hydraulic disc brakes are not a luxury on an e-bike. They are, for riders over 60, effectively a safety feature. Hydraulic disc brakes provide significantly more stopping power than mechanical disc brakes or rim brakes. They require less hand strength to activate fully, and they perform consistently in wet conditions. On a bike that can reach speeds of 20 to 28 miles per hour with assist, the difference between hydraulic and mechanical brakes in an emergency stop situation is not trivial. If a bike you are seriously considering has mechanical disc brakes, ask if an upgrade is available. If it has rim brakes, keep walking. Tire width matters for stability. Narrow road bike tires are efficient but unforgiving. For riders prioritizing stability and confidence, a tire width of somewhere between 2 inches and 2.4 inches gives you significantly more contact patch with the road, absorbs surface irregularities better, and is far more forgiving on gravel, wet leaves, or painted road markings, all of which can be surprisingly slippery. Fat tire e-bikes take this further with tires between 3 and 4 inches wide. And while they are heavier and slower, the stability they offer is genuinely impressive and worth considering if balance is a specific concern. Speed settings. Most quality e-bikes allow you to cap the assisted speed, and this feature is more useful than it sounds. Cap the assist at a lower speed while you get comfortable with a bake, then gradually increase it as your confidence builds. This is just sensible. There is no rule that says you have to immediately ride at the bike's maximum assist speed. Take your time, the bike will wait. Helmets, wear one. Not a vintage cycling cap, not a baseball hat, a proper certified helmet. And specifically for e-bike riders, consider a helmet rated for speeds up to 28 miles per hour rather than a standard bicycle helmet, since you can realistically reach those speeds on assist. Some helmets now also include NMIPS technology, rotation protection system, which meaningfully reduces rotational brain injury in certain crash scenarios. It costs a little more. Your brain is worth it. The hidden costs. Nobody warns you about the sticker price of an e-bike is the beginning of the financial conversation, not the end of it. And given that decent e-bikes for riders over 60 typically start at around $1,500 and run up to $5,000 and beyond for premium models. Understanding the total cost of ownership before you buy is not pedantic. It is just sensible. Maintenance costs on an e-bike are higher than a regular bicycle and lower than a car. Annual servicing, brake adjustments, gear tuning, chain replacement, tire replacement will run you anywhere from $100 to $300 per year, depending on how much you ride and whether you are comfortable doing any of it yourself. The electrical components themselves are generally very reliable and don't require regular servicing. But when something electronic does go wrong, it can be expensive to diagnose and repair. This is one genuine argument for buying from a brand with a strong local dealer network, rather than a direct-to-consumer online brand with no local support infrastructure. Battery replacement, as we mentioned, is coming eventually. Budget for it. $300 to $800 is the realistic range depending on your bike's battery. Some brands make replacement batteries easy to source. Others, particularly some of the cheaper direct-to-consumer brands, have a troubling habit of discontinuing battery compatibility when they update their product lines, which means a bike you paid $1,000 for can become a very heavy non-electric bicycle 3 years later when the battery dies and a replacement is no longer available. This is not a hypothetical. It has happened to a lot of riders, and it is genuinely something to check before you buy. Insurance is worth thinking about. Some homeowners and renters insurance policies cover e-bikes, but many cap coverage at a level well below what a decent e-bike actually costs. Standalone e-bike insurance policies exist and are relatively affordable, often $30 to $100 per year, and they cover theft, damage, and in some cases, liability. Given that your e-bike might be worth $2,000 to $4,000, this is not an extravagance. Storage. E-bikes are heavy. A typical e-bike weighs somewhere between 45 and 75 pounds. If you live anywhere that requires carrying the bike upstairs, this is a significant practical consideration. Some riders solve this with a garage hook system or a ground-level storage rack. Others find the weight a genuine barrier. Test lifting the bike before you buy it. Seriously, the best riding styles for riders. We're over 60. Here is something the industry rarely talks about because it requires acknowledging that different riders have different actual lives. Not everyone wants the same thing from an e-bike, and getting clear on what you actually want before you walk into a shop will save you from buying a bike optimized for someone else's life entirely. Fitness riding means you are using the e-bike as a genuine exercise tool, with the assist allowing you to ride longer and tackle more terrain than your current fitness level would otherwise allow. But you're still pedaling meaningfully, still getting your heart rate up, still doing real work. For this style of riding, you want a bike with a responsive torque sensor motor, good gear range, and probably a slightly more active riding position. The assist is your training partner, not your chauffeur. Leisure cruising is exactly what it sounds like: relaxed, riding on trails, paths, or quiet roads, probably for an hour or two, probably with scenery involved, possibly with a coffee stop in the middle. For this, comfort is king. Upright geometry, a plush saddle, swept back handlebars, and a smooth, predictable motor that doesn't startle you. Battery range matters less here because your rides are shorter. Weight matters more because you may be loading and unloading the bike from a car rack. Utility riding means the bike is replacing car trips. Grocery runs, errands, getting to appointments, visiting friends. For this style, you want a bike with a rear rack or front basket capability, fenders for wet weather, decent lighting, and ideally, a step-through frame for easy mounting with bags or panniers loaded. Range matters more here because utility rides are often unplanned in their total distance. Most riders over 60 end up using their e-bike for a combination of all three, which is fine. But knowing which one is primary helps you make better decisions about which trade-offs matter. What to actually test. Before you buy, do not buy an e-bike without riding it first. This sounds obvious. You would be genuinely surprised how many people, particularly when buying online, skip this entirely and regret it. So here is your test ride checklist and what to pay attention to. First, getting on and off. Do it multiple times. Does the frame height and style allow you to mount and dismount confidently? Do you feel stable standing over the bike at a stop? This is not something you can evaluate from a photograph. Second, the assist feel. Try all the assist levels. Does the lowest level feel uselessly feeble, or does it give you a gentle, natural boost? Does the highest level feel controllable, or does it lurch forward in a way that catches you off guard? A good motor should feel like a helpful tailwind. A bad one feels like someone shoved you from behind unexpectedly. Third, the brakes. Find somewhere safe on your test ride and do a firm stop from moderate speed. Do the brakes feel powerful and progressive, or do you have to squeeze hard before anything meaningful happens? Your hands and wrists will be doing this for every ride. Weak brakes on a test ride do not magically become strong brakes after purchase. Fourth, the riding position. After 10 minutes on the bike, how does your back feel? Your wrists? Your neck? If something is already nagging at you after 10 minutes, multiply that by 2 hours and ask yourself if that's a bike you want to own. Questions dealers hate, but you should ask anyway. What is the actual battery replacement cost for this specific model, and is that part currently in stock? How long has this brand been making e-bikes? What is the warranty on the motor and battery separately? Is there a local service center that works on this brand? If a dealer gets visibly uncomfortable with any of those questions, that is information. The brands and price points, worth knowing. Let's talk money and where it actually goes, because the e-bike market in 2024 and 2025 has genuinely stratified into distinct quality tiers, and knowing which tier does what will save you from either overspending on things you don't need or underspending on things you will regret. Under $1,000, be careful here, very careful. There are some functional bikes in this range, but the corners that get cut to hit that price point tend to be corners that matter. Motor quality, battery quality, brake quality, and long-term parts availability. A few brands do decent work at this price point for very light occasional use. But if you are planning to ride more than twice a week, this tier will probably frustrate you within a year. $1,000 to $2,000 is where the market starts to get genuinely interesting. You can find solid hub drive bikes with reliable batteries and decent components. Trek, Giant, and Specialized all have models in this range. Direct-to-consumer brands like Rad Power Bikes and Aventon offer good value here, though check that local service options exist in your area before committing. $2,000 to $4,000 is the sweet spot for riders over 60 who are serious about quality and longevity. This is where you find mid-drive motors from Bosch and Shimano, genuinely well-built frames, hydraulic disc brakes as standard, and brands that have been making e-bikes long enough to have their parts supply chains figured out. Trek, Gazelle, Reese & Miller at the upper end, and Cannondale all operate in this space. Above $4,000, you're paying for premium components, lighter weight frames, extended range batteries, and in some cases, genuinely exceptional build quality. Whether that's worth it depends entirely on how much you will ride and how much the weight and refinement matter to you specifically. So here's the honest summary. You are not a secondary customer for this technology. You are exactly who it was designed to serve. The assist that makes hills manageable, the range that lets you ride further than your body alone would allow, the freedom to get back on a bike and actually enjoy it, all of that is real, and it is genuinely available to you right now at multiple price points and in multiple styles. But the industry is not always going to help you find the right one. The marketing is not aimed at you. The showroom staff may not know what questions to ask you, and the specification sheet will tell you exactly what the manufacturer wants you to know and very little else. What you need to do is go in informed, know your riding style, know that range figures are optimistic, know that mid-drive motors are worth understanding, know that step-through frames are not a compromise, know that hydraulic brakes are not optional, know that the sticker price is the beginning of the financial conversation. And for the love of everything, sit on the bike before you buy it. If this video helped you think more clearly about any of this, leave a comment below and tell us what kind of riding you are planning to do. We read all of them, and it genuinely helps us make better content. Hit the like button if you want more honest, no-nonsense coverage of e-bike